almost dropped my coffee. I just stood there on the porch of my little lake cabin staring. The morning mist was still hanging over the water, quiet and peaceful, and then this neon eyesore right in the middle of my lawn. That's when Karen's white Lexus crunched to a stop in my driveway. She got out, all crisp polo shirt and designer sunglasses, holding a clipboard like it was a scepter. "Morning. I see you've noticed the new listing." "Listing?" I said, my voice still rough with sleep. "Karen, what is this? You can't just put a for sale sign on my property." She gave me a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "It's not your property. Not according to the HOA boundary committee. We did a survey. Your shed is 2 feet over the line onto common land. That's a violation. The fine has accrued interest, and since you've refused to pay..." "Refused to pay?" "Karen, you slid a handwritten note under my door. I thought it was a joke." "It's not a joke, Mr. Evans," she said, her voice going cold. "The bylaws are clear. Failure to pay fines results in a lien. A lien allows us to initiate a sale to recoup costs. It's all perfectly legal." My heart started hammering against my ribs. This was my place. My escape after 20 years of teaching high school, kids who didn't want to learn, and a divorce that did. I bought it with my own hands and my own money. "You can't do this." She took off her sunglasses, her eyes narrowing. "It's already done. I've already got a cash buyer from the city. He loves the rustic charm. He'll be by this afternoon for a walkthrough. I suggest you make it presentable." She turned to leave, then paused. "Oh, and he's allergic to petunias. You might want to pull those." I stood there long after her Lexus disappeared down the gravel road, the crunch of the tires fading into the sound of the lake water. My hands were clenched into fists. A walkthrough this afternoon? This wasn't happening. I didn't clean. I didn't pull the petunias. I went inside and I made a call. Not to a lawyer, not yet. I called Frank, the old-timer who ran the only bait shop in town and knew everything about everyone. "Frank," I said, my voice low. "Karen, the HOA president. She live around here?" Frank chuckled, a dry, raspy sound. "Oh, she lives up. Not around. Big modern thing on the ridge, overlooks the whole lake. Thinks she owns the view." "Why? She try to measure your flagpole or something?" "Something like that," I said. "She put my cabin up for sale." The line went silent for a second. "She did what now?" "That's a new one. Even for her." He gave me the address. "Place is called Eagle's Nest. Fitting, ain't it? For a vulture." I thanked him and hung up. An idea, crazy and dangerous, was forming in my mind. If she was playing dirty with property, maybe two could play that game. I got in my truck and drove, not towards town, but up the winding private road that led to the ridge, and there it was. Eagle's Nest. A huge glass and steel box perched on the edge of the cliff with a massive, ornate iron gate at the entrance of the long driveway. It was exactly as obnoxious as I'd imagined, and sitting on a post by the gate was a small, discreet sign I almost missed, "For sale by owner." My breath caught in my throat. She was selling her own house. I didn't even think. I pulled out my phone and dialed the number on the sign, putting on my best bored city buyer voice. "Yes, I'm inquiring about the property on Ridge Road," I said. A woman's voice, sharp and efficient, answered. It wasn't Karen, it was her realtor. I asked a few questions about square footage, septic, well water. Then I asked the one question that mattered. "And access?" "The listing says the property is landlocked. What's the easement situation?" The realtor's voice turned a little sour. "Well, technically, the only legal access is a right-of-way through the neighboring property to the north. It's a bit of a ongoing discussion, but I'm sure we can get it sorted. The seller is very motivated." I almost laughed. Motivated? I bet she was. I ended the call with a promise to think about it. I sat in my truck staring at that gate. An idea, perfect and brutal, clicked into place. She wanted to use rules and laws as a weapon. Maybe I could too. I drove straight to the county clerk's office. I needed to see a map. I needed to see who really owned the land between her fortress and the county road.